Starting. This Hangouts is now live.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, what's up?
What's up again? Hopefully the quality is good this time. My apologies for last time. If you were on my channel, we tried it twice, and we thought it was Joseph's internet, but it actually turned out to be my internet, which was suck. But now I'm sitting somewhere else. I'm sitting downstairs, so yeah, I hope it's better. But
yeah, and I've also lowered the quality, which is obviously not so perfect, but at least the aspect ratio is like this now.
yeah,
not like this.
yeah. You don't have
Yeah.
those black things at the side, so that helps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to check if the video is swapping between us talking.
Oh yeah, sure.
I haven't checked that
went
yet.
wrong last time as well.
Yeah. But as you've seen by the title of this video, we're going to be doing, bicycle touring in New Zealand and what it's like. I mean, not New Zealand, sorry, Finland. I don't know why I said that. Oh, it's not swapping automatically. I don't know why it's not doing that.
Shoot.
Present to everyone. Yes. Okay, I don't know what I've just done.
It's not presenting to him. So now I am on the thing because I see myself big. Now you are big again.
Now it's working. Yeah, now it's swapping. Awesome. I don't know what I did there.
Wow,
it's working.
That's insane.
Okay, so
cool.
We've got 2 viewers, which is a lot. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know if you're viewing. I'm not viewing this time, but
yeah, we've got 2 viewers. It says.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're going to be discussing about what was bicycle touring in Finland like, because Tice and I have also we haven't ridden there together, but we've ridden in the country, different times.
At very different times.
Yeah, like you were in winter, I went in summer.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and going in winter would be absolutely crazy in the north. Even in the south, you're a bit crazy.
I mean, we can talk about the differences, but what it's like to be cycling there at the shittiest time. Like, I wasn't even in the beautiful winter, with the white, snow stuff. I was there when it was black and was no snow, and it was pretty bad. And the people were pretty.
It just was cold, basically.
Not even that. I was actually quite lucky with that because the week before I was there, it was actually snowing quite bad. It was like -10, but when I was there, it was like 5 degrees Celsius above. So that was actually
right. But what month was that?
November
2017.
2017, yeah, last year.
Okay, yeah, and I think I was there. I'd have to check my. It says I made this in August. That can't be right. Okay. Was it August? Maybe it was August. March. Oh, I don't know. Shit, I thought I knew this. Bear with me, guys. Pori, August the 1st. So I was there in August, apparently.
All right.
And June. That's the month. Is that the month before? I keep forgetting the months.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, no, it's so in July you were somewhere else.
July. No. June, July, August, right? That's how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
I lose track of months these last couple of years because it's just a blur.
Okay.
But anyway, that's my lifestyle. And at the end of this live stream, what we're going to do is like a Q&A where people can write in the comments, as you know.
Do you have that open? I actually can open
I'm going to have a look at the top chat. I think it's called the top chat.
No, it's the live chat. You have to switch to the live chat.
I think live chat. Okay, I'm switching. Okay, so we've got already 2 people commented. One was Pierre Haru, who says hello. I don't know if you can read this. Can you read that?
And another guy says, yeah, I can see that. When will it air?
Yeah,
it's live right now. Thomas, I don't know if you can see us. Hello?
But yeah, so write your comments down there and we'll answer them at the end of the video, and we're hoping to maybe keep it around 30 minutes and then 10 minutes at the end we'll kind of do
you said the timer.
Yes, I did. I'm gonna check what we're at 25. Okay, so I just have to keep track of that. But anyway,
Sure.
And then throughout this, we're going to show some photos and a map. Tice will show his, and I'll show my photos as well on our Instagrams to give you an idea of whereabouts we were and what it looks like and all that stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know what questions to start off with. Let me pull up my notes here. And let's have a look. Well, one of the first things I wrote down was it expensive like Sweden?
I don't think so. I think it was comparable with where I live. First of all, they use the euro there, so that's very convenient if you come from the EU or even from the US. It's almost the same. Like those crownish shit. Like I don't get that. It's always hard. Like it's like sometimes it's about 10 cents, sometimes it's about like I don't know, like 25 cents in Danish crown. I don't know. But Finnish they use the euro. It's very good, and I felt that it was cheaper than Sweden, but it could be because they switched from crown to euro that it felt cheaper. But I think it was a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that I'm trying to compare it to Holland and France. That's where I spent most of my time in Europe. And I found that things were maybe about 20% more than a good gauge to put is that the more south you go in Scandinavia or the Nordic countries like Finland, Denmark,
I'd
whatever,
live it too. Yeah.
the further south you go, the cheaper it is. And the further north you go, the more expensive it gets. So once you go above the Arctic Circle and you're up in Tromsø or Nordkap region, when you're heading up there, that's when it gets really expensive.
Probably. I think so because it's just harder to get your stuff there, and bananas don't grow there naturally. So that
really they don't grow in the Arctic
in Iceland in Iceland they do that actually. They have these huge places where they just grow bananas. It's insane, but still it's expensive to do that. So things get expensive. So I get that. But compared to Norway, nothing is as expensive as Norway. Like there's no.
Yeah, that's probably true. That is definitely true. I think what we should do before we answer some more questions is maybe give an idea of the routes that we've taken through
sure.
Finland to tell people where we've gone. So I've lost where the Hangouts is. Here it is. So if you want, you share your screen and we can have a look on your website for the route.
All right, now you see yourself. Sorry.
Here I am.
Okay,
here we go.
So, yeah, this is my map. I'm sorry my logo is upside down. I just explained to my friend here that there's something with my proxy server that I did. But here's my map, and I think I can better show you. If you want to go to my map, travelingtice.com/tour map, which is Traveling Tice, your logo will hopefully be right. I don't know.
Don't worry about the logo. It's okay.
I mean, it's awful. Anyways, and then you can get to tour map. So this is what I wrote, and that's like embarrassing compared to Joseph probably, because this is Finland. This is like huge.
Well, it's all the Makeda rejection. So as you go up in the north on that area, it kind of like gets pushed upwards. But anyway, so you rode from Turku to Helsinki.
Yes, this is it. So I started in Turku. I took the boat from Sweden, and then I was here I was actually in Karina for like a few days, and also toured around Turku. And then I went to Salo, which is right here. And then you can see this thing right here where I had my second stay. That was Suomusjärvi. That was right there. And then I cycled all the way to Helsinki on day 3. So I did this in 3 days.
You use mostly couch surfing and warm showers for that? Or
actually not. I actually used wait, I'll switch to myself again. I can do that.
To explain to people what couch surfing and warm showers is, couch surfing is like a hospitality club. I mean, just Google couchsurfing.com. You'll find that it's a rather big website, and then warmshowers.org, I think it's called, is like a cycling version of couch surfing where you can host travelers as they travel through.
And the cool thing about that is that it's actually like most people that you get to are actually also cyclers, so you can talk about them about cycling, and it's great. I love warm showers. Couch surfing, honestly, I've never done yet. I've not done that yet, so I still have to try that out. But
I mean, the advantage is there's just more people, and they're going to be probably more gobsmacked that you're touring on a bloody bicycle, and not with your thumb, or for example. But whatever, you know. So, anyways, let me share my screen as well, which is here, I believe, and share entire screen. There we go. So can you see this, Tice?
yes, I can see that.
Okay, sweet. I think I'll put it full screen. Why not? Saying a notification for live streaming. So I'm not going to show you the entire route because we'll talk about that in another video through Sweden and Norway. This was my route that I took. So to give you an idea, that Nordkap is way up over here.
Yeah, that's all the way there, but from away.
And Lofoten Islands is along here, this chain of islands here.
Oh, did you go there? That's like the most beautiful part.
I didn't go there because it was so touristy, and I actually went to this beautiful island right here, which I'm not even going to tell you the name of it unless we were talking privately, because I want this to be a secret spot, which no one goes to. But it's like Lofoten, but better. But anyway, so this was where I first entered into Finland from the top rather than the south, which was kind of funny. So we've got Kilpisjärvi, I think is the name of the town up here, up in the north. So this is all the Lapland region, and then you've got the three tried countries meeting in the top.
You've
part of the country. I didn't bother taking the ferry. You have to take a ferry along this this lake over here. I just didn't bother doing that, and I just followed the main road, pretty much the E8 all the way down. And then once I got to Calvisanto, I stayed at a campground there, and there was a really lovely warm shower host at Kilpisjärvi if you're ever going through there. And the reason I swapped, you can see here, I swapped to Sweden instead of riding in Finland. And the reason,
that's the border.
And the trick is, if you swap to the other side when you're riding along this river here, because the river is literally the border of the two countries, there's far less traffic on the Swedish side than the Finnish side. And in fact, I don't know why you'd bother taking the E8. It's just it's got so much more traffic than this countryside road. I mean, this was the time when I sat on the asphalt and there was literally an hour where there was no car, and then one car passed me.
Awesome. That is awesome.
So it was just trees, and then, you know, a couple small villages as you go through, but they were split apart, maybe 50 kilometers or something.
Wow.
So definitely make sure that you have enough water and food on this route, because you can go maybe 180 Ks up in Lapland without food and water to pick up. But anyway, so once I got down to the Gulf of Bothnia, I swapped over to the Finnish side because I wanted to go through Finland. And it was actually pretty good. I was really debating to go back through Sweden, actually, when I was doing this tour through Scandinavia. But I'm glad I went through Finland so I can tell you about it. So I followed kind of the E8, which is this, I think it's called the E8, and I went through Oulu. Let me find the name of the main road. I think it's called the E8. Let me just try and find it. Yes, okay, that's the E8, the main road. But for some reason, because Finland's a relatively richer kind of country, sort of like Sweden, it's like I would say it's the cheapest out of the Nordic countries, maybe. I found that the bike paths were really good, and there's a lot of them on the coastline, and they connect through from Kimi to Oulu all the way down to Kukala, and I'm probably pronouncing everything wrong, down to Vasa. Funny fact with Vasa is that their port is actually losing. So they're am I saying
they're
it right?
rising out of the sea, right?
That's better. That you said it right.
Yeah.
Their port, they had to move it closer to the ocean, and then they have the old ports, which is like 5 kilometers inland.
That's also where I was. Turku, that's like a big port city, and the exact same story there. Like it's rising out of the sea, and there was like one port which used to be all sea, and now there were like buildings, and it was all dry basically. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it's quite an amazing experience to go through the coastline of Finland, because it's just so I don't know, green and it's gaining coastline. It's got all this cool history behind it. And you don't have to take the main road. Sometimes you do, and it's absolutely terrible. But once you're off it, I mean, as you can see here, there's a main section I had to ride on here with this blue dot is. But then I just followed all of this beautiful coastline, and there was way less traffic on this side.
Awesome.
And there was a part sticking out there near Pori Pori. Stayed with a nice couch surfer there. And then there was another couch surfer somewhere in the forest over here. And then I took the island hopping route through Åland. And I have to admit that Åland, I think, is a bit of a joke, in my opinion. Because
I skipped it. And a lot of people said, why did you skip Åland? It's so cool there.
Well, maybe it's worth it to go to Eckerö, and then you take the main ferry from Mariehamn, if I'm saying that right, so that you can experience one island. But I don't think you have to experience all the other ones, because they're kind of a bit of a tourist trap. That the timing on the ferries are very tricky for cyclists. So sometimes you want to like cross all of these islands in one day. That's really close to impossible because of the ferries, and they're really slow. So you have to like stay on the first island at Bando over here, and then the next day you can take the ferries and get through all these two islands, and then eventually you're on Åland. And all of the scenery looks like, I mean, if you're doing it for the scenery, I think that you can experience all of that in the south of Norway for free. You don't need to take all the ferries. So if we go over to Norway, or even Sweden for that matter, Norway at Kristiansand has all of this beautiful coastline that you can ride along here. And you don't need to take the main road, and you don't need to take any ferries. And
I think I was cycling at I was cycling the Stavanger and Hoogsund route from Bergen to Stavanger. I think that's also kind of the same.
From which one to where?
From Bergen, like Bergen, Norway to Stavanger.
What, from Bergen to Stavanger this way? Oh yeah, you're right. Yes,
loads
it
of
is.
ferries. That's true.
And I think that it just makes the trip more expensive, really. Sometimes you have no choice to take a ferry. That makes sense. If you're in a rush or whatever. But if you've got your time, like, there's no point in taking the ferry, in my opinion. But yeah, if you want to try and ride through Finland and kind of experience and try and like add as many kilometers as you can back to Sweden, then you can ride all of these islands, and they are still nice to go through, but it's just it's very overhyped. It's maybe the best way to describe it.
So it's not completely stupid of me that I skipped that part and just went straight to Turku from Stockholm.
Yeah, I would say so. Because once you're riding along all of this coastline, if you can do that further south, maybe that's going to be the same thing.
That's what I should have actually done, because there was one route where I could have, and I actually wanted to go along the coast a little bit more, but I choose the straight road to Helsinki. And that just, oh, hello.
We still live at our parents' places. Don't worry about it, guys.
Yeah. Just. Anyway,
so what were you saying?
I was saying that I actually had a fan of my YouTube who lived close to right on the road to Helsinki, and I really wanted to stay at their place. Like, they had an authentic Finnish sauna that I could try out. You know, you had to put that fire in there. The house was amazing. So I'm glad that I took that route, but I didn't miss. Actually, it's also Eurovelo route. So if you don't know Eurovelo, it's like,
if you can just Google it and find out. Yeah,
Eurovelo. It's a French word actually, but it's great. Like, if you have the chance, then you should definitely follow one of those routes, because you know they are really good. But I skipped it at that point because I had to go, or I really wanted to go to this place. I'm glad I did, but I do want to get back there one day.
Oh, are you reading through the comments? Is that how you found out about that?
Whoa, okay, so I see the comments here too.
Can you read these ones?
Maybe I see you on the road this summer. So Pierre, okay, so he's going to trike Europe to my dog. Whoa,
that
that's
sounds
awesome.
pretty cool. We won't be there, I think, because you'll be probably in Belarus or Ukraine. I don't know.
Well, yeah, this summer I'm gonna be Eastern Europe basically. So Eastern Europe, and then autumn I want to be around Greece and Mediterranean.
Yeah, and my summer will be cold, which is great.
Your summer will be winter.
Yeah, well, if I maybe head off to the continent of Australia, it'll be a lot more more temperate climate. I mean, you can do yearly cycling around that area in the south part of Australia, which is pretty cool. But anyway, so what should maybe we should show some of the photos as well.
Okay, sure.
Give people some ideas of what we were seeing. I don't want to show my wallpaper because that's embarrassing. Do you want to show your screen?
Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna. Okay, wait. Okay, there we are.
Or do you want me to show
sorry.
mine?
No, almost. Yeah, you're a little delaying on my screen, so yeah, but the internet's not great. Okay, there we are. Screen sharing. All right, so these are my photos.
So walk us through it when you were at Turku heading to
Okay, so these are the islands that you rode over. This is Åland. This is from my ferry on my way to Finland. And yeah, this is when I came in. This is in Turku, so that wasn't as nearly as beautiful. It was just pretty bad actually. This was
yeah, you got the sign.
Yeah, that's right. So this was pretty cool, and that's also where Finland is pretty famous for the castles. So there are a lot of castles and fortresses, and this one was also pretty beautiful. I went to with my Airbnb host. This is one side, but the other side is actually even better. I don't know if I have this called Turun Linna. I don't have a picture of that. But yeah, that was so cool. Like all wooden structures, and it was all it was pretty cool.
Awesome. A lot of history, I suppose. Finland has a completely different culture to Sweden, which is something we should probably mention. It's just not Scandinavian at all. I mean, it has a similar flag, but the language is completely different. It's closer to, I think, Hungarian. And I would say the people that they don't speak English that well yet. It's getting better as tourism goes by. It might have been different for you when you were in Helsinki. I don't know.
Well, I think, it wasn't as good, but I actually talked about this with my Airbnb host, and they said, and also actually at the other place where I stayed with the Finnish sauna and stuff, they said that just the Finnish language is so different from language in Europe. It's like my Airbnb host, she said that they don't know where the Finnish language comes from, so they don't know where those people come from, so they call them aliens. That's
really.
Yeah, well, she said that she was a little weird, but she said, yeah, we are aliens. We come from outer space. but yeah, like we say on the pig, on in the house, that kind of stuff. They say house in, pig on, and just the language. I love languages, by the way. So I was pretty good at language. That's cool, and I learned all these grammatical terms and stuff. And I was used to, like, German has 4 cases. Like you have a German word like book, and you can say that in 4 different ways depending on the function in the sentence. I know that's kind of a little technical. Well, Finnish has 20 of those different. So you have the word dog. I remember you have the word dog. In English, the only variation on dog is dogs, plural, right? So, but in Finland, you have like a whole list, like hundreds of different word endings, word variations for the word dog. So just the complete, way.
The structure is completely different to ours.
The structure is different. So that's why it's also harder for them to learn English, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's just so different.
I mean, like, I mean for touring, though, when you're in the towns, is that, like, the big towns like Helsinki, Oulu, people generally speak English.
Yeah.
But when you kind of get to the smaller ones, I found it kind of difficult. And, like, when I was in the gas station at Lapland, it was just impossible to have a conversation.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Yeah, it's also harder for us to speak Finnish, like impossible. So when you don't understand each other, like in Finnish, you don't have a chance to.
And the closer you want
you have to use your hands.
like yeah, charades basically. But the closer you are to the coast of Finland towards obviously Sweden, and the river up in the north, they generally speak also Swedish as well. And if they speak Swedish, there's a good chance that they might speak a lot of English as well.
Yeah, Swedish is closer. That's for sure. Yeah, I can actually speak a little bit of Swedish, so that helps. But yeah, that's fairly similar to our languages. But yeah,
So,
I've actually had no trouble with that. So, but that's
so what part of the Instagram photos are you through right now?
okay. So I'm gonna switch the screen share again because I just went off
because we didn't see the parts of.
So this is my apartment in Helsinki.
Okay. Nice. So it's basically like any European place. Yeah.
Yeah, just nothing really special. Well, the cool thing is about Finland is when you go to the toilet, they have this little shower thing at the side, and I still have no idea. I forgot to ask, like, why is that? A bidet.
A shower thing on the side. Okay.
Like, okay, so I just heard from my mom. She's here. She said it's also in the south of Europe. They have that too. What is it for? Yeah. Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
Well, we're learning new things today.
Don't you know that, Joseph? So
nope.
My mom says it's like a little thing to clean your bottom.
Oh, okay. So it's like plays from behind or something, like the Japanese.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the Japanese toilets, they have it in the toilet.
Right.
Okay. Oh, so that's what it's for. Oh, but I also have toilet paper, so that's what I'm used to. Anyways.
So now I'm going to switch on over to my screen sharing and have a look at the photos that I took through Finland. Sure. I don't have
the show, but I'll get to that.
Which one?
Should I show?
Yeah.
From these are pretty cool. These are from I don't know. Yeah, you can see that. This is from this is what it's called, Suomenlinna. So that if you're in Helsinki, go here and go to island number E. Then you have the whole place to yourself. It's these old, I don't know, like an old fortress. You can go in the I don't know if I have a picture of that. Shit, no, I don't. But it's awesome. Like you can explore everything. You have these old cannons there, like this other picture here. You have these awesome things. I was there completely by myself, by the way. You have an awesome view on the city. There is a ferry there because it's kind of like an island. It's a fortress on an island. It used to defend Finland from enemies. And yeah, it's amazing. It's really awesome.
Sounds like there's a bunch of history around the Helsinki area. That's cool.
Yeah, I think where I was kind of like the history area because also Turku, the first village that I was at, is the oldest village in Finland actually.
Are you sure? I thought Oulu was the oldest one.
Oh, really? Oh,
I might be wrong. It might be one of the furthest northern ports in the world.
Yeah, could be.
It might be a different status, but yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is a church from also. This was actually not that special, but it's a church inside of a rock. It's kind of cool. And this is the view from the city, so you can see that.
Cool. I just keeping an eye on the timer though, Tice.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, so we should rapid fire through my photos and then start answering some Q&As. And then if you're looking at my screen now, I'm just going to blaze through. This photo is taken at Oulu, which you can get to the coast. You can maybe get a local to take you there, but it's pretty easy to get your way through the forest. And then you can see the Gulf of Bothnia, which is a really beautiful. That fjord you can't actually see in Finland, and Finland doesn't have any fjords. It's basically this road depicts, I think, what Finland's best known for is just trees and roads. And I found the roads were really good because in Finland, they really take pride in having to make the roads so fast. I thought it was amazing that like even the main highway, the E8 is paved in like, they do the whole thing in like a month or two. It's just crazy because they have such a little amount of time before the summer's over. This photo was taken at Kilpisjärvi, which is this lake here. And there's close to one of the places I stayed at. This is a really beautiful spot here. There's a research center nearby. This photo was taken at Åland, And that's what you can experience there. It's just kind of this rocks kind of sticking out the ground, very low islands, and you can see the sea. And then Åland's very strange with its flag. So our time has just gone off. Åland's very strange with its flag. It's kind of like a mix between Sweden and Finland. That's what Åland is, basically. It's more Swedish than Finnish.
They speak Swedish, right? Yeah, they speak Swedish.
Yeah. And the rest of my photos, I mean, this is also Åland as well, but you've seen that from. You can check out our Instagrams. I'll try and leave links at the description, or you can find us at our social medias. So yeah, that's pretty much it for photos. Let me turn off my screen sharing. Okay. Now. I'm going to go through the questions that I've written down. I have, for example, we already talked a little bit about the people, how interesting they are is maybe the best way to describe them.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the roads, we kind of talked about that. I think I'd like to touch upon that the cycle lanes, like I said, were really, really good. I was so surprised on the coastline how many bike lanes and how long they were for. In fact, some of them are so new they weren't on the map, basically. And also all of the side roads, which are dirt, are really good because they're all compact, and it's kind of, the ground is all kind of sort of, I don't know how to describe it, like moist or wet. So it means that like it doesn't get too dusty and stuff like that. Makes it a very smooth ride on the dirt. So you can do really great gravel riding around there. And I found that camping's a bit of a hit or miss because you don't want to wild camp some places in Finland because you've got to worry about ticks. There's this big kind of problem on most of the coastline up in the north. I don't know if you experienced it down south, where there's a lot of ticks. And if you get the ticks, and they can give you Lyme's disease. So you've got to be quite careful about that. Wear a lot of long socks.
Yeah, there is another. I had an injection when I was home for another disease you can get from ticks, and it's not Lyme disease. It's another disease, which is more prevalent in the eastern part of Europe. So maybe you want to check in on that. It's quite, like, the chance to get that is very small, but especially in Eastern Europe, there are people that get that, and it's even worse than Lyme, they said. But I don't know. It's called encephalitis or something.
Yeah, so I would take precaution and just try and wear long socks and try not to go in any long grass and stuff like that.
Yeah, or you can do what I did and go in November, so you don't have any.
Where they're all basically dead. And it's -10. Oh yeah, that's great, Tice. That's good advice.
So I can't really talk about this because I haven't really had. I wasn't in the right time there. I mean, November, just what you said, but then it was a lot darker. And the cycling lanes, actually, because it already snowed and it melted when I was there, there was also quite a bit of snow already. They actually put gravel onto the cycling lanes. That's pretty cool. So they put kind of like little pieces of stone, so then people can ride on there apparently. But because of the snow had melted, the cycling lanes were quite rough. So cycling there, I actually had one puncture because of the little rocks that were there. So that wasn't great. But I think definitely it's just go in summer, man.
It might depend also on the kind of bike you ride with, because if you're on a mountain bike, I mean, a lot of the roads out here in New Zealand, some of them aren't even roads if you go by mountain bike, and they're all basically they're called metal roads for some reason, because they're created by. Anyway, I'm not talking about New Zealand too much. Sorry. The point is that they have these bike paths which are gravel here, but I suppose, I mean, in New Zealand,
I think you can have good gravel roads, but these roads were just those small rocks. It wasn't. I didn't feel safe, but just just also get a good bike. That makes sense. Like, my tires were bad, so I was a little worried about that.
So now I think we'll try and rapid fire through some of the questions. If you have any questions, we've got only 2 viewers at the moment.
Do you see any questions? I don't know if I can.
The questions that we have, there's one from Pierre about, are you using the Eurovelo road? And you talked about that, didn't you?
Yes,
right?
I do. Yeah. Well, as I actually in the beginning I didn't, but then I had this app called Locus, and you can see the Eurovelo there, like blue on that. there are times when they don't make sense, or sometimes it's actually including a ferry that didn't run anymore. I had that once. There was one ferry.
Oh.
I was there, and I said, "Where's the ferry?" And they said, "There is no ferry here." So that kind of sucked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good
That
thing to
really
mention.
was, yeah. So some are a little older. You should do your research, but I mean, most people do Euroville Live. So if you have any questions about that or anything you want to find out about such a route, you know, the things to visit along the route, that kind of stuff, you can find it pretty easily online.
And that's pretty much all the questions that we had because we're not very famous.
No, but everybody has a start, right?
I'm trying to think of if I had any questions on my the rest of my
questions
channel.
from last time, but I wasn't able to recover those, unfortunately.
But yeah, once we've done a few Q&As, since this is a questions and answers podcast thing, then we'll be pretty much done with the live stream. I think I just summed that up in the most boring way I could think possible. I'm going to read through some of these. Okay, so cheers. I gone for the. No, that's a review. I wonder if next time we'll maybe just do a random Q&A video or podcast again with us two answering questions because we
like
get a lot more variety.
I also have loads of questions to answer still in my videos, so we'll get to that. Yeah. Oh, I had one good question. I don't know if I remember.
Someone asked me about carrying a rear derailleur in my backpack, and it's like, well, I don't know. Just no. I mean, if you go...
Derailleur?
Yeah, you know, the part where it changes the gears. He was telling him to maybe carry a spare one.
No,
yeah.
I don't get that.
Yeah, like if you're in the middle of nowhere, maybe, but anyway.
I mean, spare tires are even for me like maybe one.
One's a good idea, I would say.
Yeah.
Because some places, if you're 180 to 200 Ks away from the next place, and it doesn't even have a bike shop, and then the next few days you don't have a bike shop for another 200 Ks, then it's a good idea to carry some spares.
Yeah, definitely. But, I'm reading through some comments, but I don't see
any Finnish ones.
Well, then I have to go through some older ones.
Well, either way, we've been live streaming for a while now, so I think we'll wrap this up. But if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them on either YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
Yes.
And you can check out Tice's channel. I'll leave a link in the iCard up here or down in the description, which takes me forever to add in, and I don't know why I just said that. But you can go and find out Tice's channel, Traveling Tice.
I mean, this video is also going to be on my channel, so if you don't know The One Good Road, you can watch the last live stream of us, or you can go to his channel, better idea. Subscribe to him. He has really awesome videos.
My videos are better. Just kidding.
They are. No, I mean, your adventures, you have way better adventures, I have to say. Like, my adventures are just, like cycle for like 2 kilometers and then stay somewhere. Like, you just go all the way through nature and that kind of stuff.
Well, everyone's got to start off somewhere, and
that's true. Yeah, I'm a newbie, that's for sure.
And even for me, I look to other people ahead of me who have been, like, let's say, even more kilometers or even more years at it. So, I kind of know how it all feels, really. So, yeah.
Well, thanks.
But in the end, we're all, cycling, and we're just enjoying ourselves. So that's what I look at.
And we're happy. That's the best.
Bikes make everyone happy. It's a fact.
It's a fact. And just buy a bike, ditch the car right now.
Yep.
Do it.
Yep, that's also a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Ciao.